Guys, Cartoon Retro Boy here, and I'm here to review one of the most infamous episodes of SpongeBob that I ever seen. Well, actually, no, I actually think it's the second worst, and that is SpongeBob, You're Fired. So, SpongeBob, You're Fired is basically about where Mr. Krabs fires SpongeBob to save a nickel. That's it. That's the plot of the episode. And then pretty much after that, SpongeBob starts crying until he like until he gets kicked out of the Krusty Krab. And then after that, Mr. Krabs tries to be the fry cook instead. Then SpongeBob goes home and be's depressed. Then Patrick comes and try to make him happy by doing fun employment, which doesn't work because it doesn't make sense. Then SpongeBob once that fails, Sandy advised SpongeBob if he could get another job. SpongeBob tells Patrick that he should. And then after that, SpongeBob pretty much does that, but looks like he can only make Krabby Patties, which that hasn't not been done before. Oh yeah, it has been done many times in the past, like Libic Switch and also Bottle Sponge. But the only thing about those two episodes, and then SpongeBob gets kicked out of these restaurants too. Then goes home, makes food for Gary, and I thought, oh, maybe SpongeBob could do a snail food thing, but nope, they did not. It was kind of lame though. So yeah. Then SpongeBob gets kidnapped, which I felt bad for him for being kidnapped by those bosses who tries to kidnap SpongeBob. But basically, then they pretty much say that their customers loved it. Okay, yeah. Then each of them tries to kidnap them, like the taco guy, the wiener guy, the burrito guy, and that stupid wet noodle guy boss. Then they fight over SpongeBob, which is probably my favorite part of the episode. It was pretty much my favorite part of the episode. That's the only thing I could say that was actually good about the episode. And the only thing I also liked it was I also thought Sandy was pretty helpful in this episode, even though that's not a thing that people actually point out to. And that's pretty much. And also Gary is also very confident. Is also very It's also I also like the only things I like about this episode too was the fight scene, Sandy and Gary. Probably because these are probably the only characters in the episode that I actually feel like that are doing something to make the episode not bad. Try to make this like the worst episode of the show. Oh yeah, it's definitely the worst though. Then after that, a Krabby Patty mascot, in surprise of all surprises, the Krusty Krab has been horribly run without SpongeBob, which has been done before so many freaking times. Like SpongeBob, like the Who Bought What Pants special, which Who Bought What Pants was actually a good episode. No, I shouldn't say that. That was a pretty bad episode. But still, at least that episode knew how to make a good at least knew how to at least had some things going for it, and it was actually more interesting. But with this one, it's just pretty much not funny. It's actually more boring. Like, I don't get it. Why these writers are so stupid? I even own the DVD, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I actually was scared. I really didn't like the menu, really at all. I really did not like the DVD menu of Son You're Fired. Here's what the menu looks like. I'm gonna show it on camera and show you why I hate this DVD so much with that menu. Like, I knew that there was gonna have the episode, but when it comes to the menu, this is what it looks like. Yup. This is what SpongeBob Fire DVD looks like. I really hate this DVD so much. I really hate it. I mean, yes, there is some good episodes in here, but it doesn't change the fact that the DVD menu looks blank, boring, and forgettable. Sure, it has all the good, has all the, sure it has the special, sure it has some other good episodes. I mean, there are some bad episodes too, but the only bad episodes in here is Funny You're Fired, which that is a good thing because I don't want to feel like I don't want other episodes. Because most of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's only 13 episodes that were good in this DVD. And thing because at least that the DVD release knew how to make at least it was a at least that because the only downside of the DVD is that there's no like music because you know what it made it good, you know what would have made it better, what would have made it better though if the episode was, you know what it made it the DVD better if they actually added some more episodes to it. I'm not just talking about like pretty much all the 14 episodes. Like, I mean, come on. Like, where's the Great Patty Keeper in this one? There could have been. It would have been good if they had the Great Patty Keeper, because honestly, that was a good episode, and that was a good special too. That was like a really good episode. A lot of people don't like to seem to like the episode. Not Sponge Fire, the Great Patty Keeper. But the only difference is that because that episode had a mystery twist. And honestly, the mystery twist to me was pretty actually enjoyable, and I actually thought it was my second favorite SpongeBob special. Now I know that sounds kind of stupid. Like, why is it? Why? Just why? Like, tell me one thing that you really like that you should deserve. It deserves to be. It deserves to be a good episode. Well, first of all, is that I actually think that the Great Patty Keeper, is that I actually liked the episode and that I actually enjoyed it. And it was also one of my first SpongeBob specials. Actually, no, it was my second SpongeBob special that I watched. And yeah, I gotta say, your Great Patty Keeper was pretty much a great special. But enough with Great Patty Keeper. Let's talk about SpongeBob Fire now. Now, in the past, back when I was like 3 when it came out, I was actually deciding this was one of the worst SpongeBob episodes of all time. Yes, I even said that this was one of the worst episodes of SpongeBob ever. But but there was one episode that was so bad that it actually competed. It actually was worse than You're Fired. But guess what? Guess what episode was worse? Just guess what episode was worse. Ink Lemonade. Yeah, it was one of my least favorite SpongeBob episodes ever. Yeah, even worse than You're Fired. Sure, You're Fired was one of the most slog, uninteresting episode of SpongeBob, but the only thing that I can actually say that at least I probably prefer it over prefer You're Fired over Ink Lemonade is that, sure, this episode is equally as bad as that episode, but I will say there's a little bit more scenes that were actually funny. What was the only things that were actually enjoyable in this DVD on Your Ink Lemonade? Well, okay, I'll admit that the future of the Krusty Krab thing was pretty hilarious and funny. I'll admit that was pretty funny. I'll admit it was pretty funny seeing that. Seeing that. It was actually pretty funny. I will say that scene was pretty funny. And so is that. Yeah. I also liked it a little bit of the beginning. I probably say that also that I did like the concept of the lemonade stand though too, but it had to be ruined because of Patrick's stupidity and SpongeBob being oblivious, like SpongeBob being like idiot like he did in Power for Gary, and Squidward being tortured like he did in some of the worst Squid Torture episodes, like Good Neighbors, Choir Boys, That's Sinking Lemonade. That's Seeking Feeling, and there's also Smooth Jazz and Bikini Bottom, and yeah, because pretty much this episode feels like a compilation of all the bad Squid Torture episodes mashed into one episode. Jolly Lyles also was pretty bad too, from season 12. Ink Lemonade was from season 11. And Thunder Fire was from season there. I feel like these are probably my least. These are my 3 least favorite episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants in general. Yeah, even worse than Pal for Gary or One Course Meal. I don't think they're one of the worst episodes of SpongeBob. Like, no, I don't think they're that bad. They're not like the worst episodes I could never think of. But Ink Lemonade, SpongeBob Fired, Choir Boys, That Sinking Feeling, and Are You Happy Now are one of my least favorite episodes of SpongeBob in general. They have no idea what they want to do. It has a very weak story. Everything in the episode was pretty bad, and there's nothing to redeem for this episode. For these episodes. But Spencer Fired, wow. When I was a kid, when I was 3 when it came out, I was very, very angry and mad. I really hated. I was really started to hate SpongeBob at that point. But the reason why I didn't hate SpongeBob at that point is because the SpongeBob movie at least showed me how to actually how the SpongeBob series was actually a good series. But when this showed up, when this show came up, I was done. I was very disappointed and very frustrated at this point. And there's nothing redeemable about this littering episode. There's nothing redeemable. This episode deserves to be in the trash, and I hate it. I especially hate this episode too. But I will say this: Ink Lemonade is worse than SpongeBob Fired. So yeah, that's why I think is the second worst SpongeBob episode. So guys, so yeah, I'm gonna have to continue. Yeah, pretty much I have nothing else to say about this episode. So you're probably wondering, final thoughts. Yeah, this episode is so bad that I was thinking about putting this as the worst episode. But after watching Ink Lemonade, when I was 8 in 2018, I was actually thinking about putting this as probably second worst episode of SpongeBob ever. So yeah, I'm gonna give this episode a 1 out of 10. And Ink Lemonade, if you're hearing this from season 11, Ink Lemonade from season 11, I give that one a 0 out of 10. So, SpongeBob Fired, 1 out of 10, and Ink Lemonade, 0 out of 10. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye. Oh my god, that episode was so stressful.